Seriously, do a shot every time I say I'm really excited to read one of these. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you happen to be new here, my name is Jess. I'm gonna start this video with probably the biggest disclaimer I've ever put on my channel. December is the month that I get the most books. As you can tell from the title, this is going to be like my Christmas and December book haul. Most of these were gifts. Some of these were purchased with gift cards to like Amazon and things like that. As you guys know, I try not to shop on Amazon for books unless they're like Amazon specific books that you can't get anywhere else. And a couple of these I did buy. I don't have them separated in piles, so we're just gonna kind of go as, you know, we go. We're gonna see what I got. But like I said, I just have to let everybody know that I am really thankful for getting all these books. December is Christmas, obviously, and that's when I get the most of my books. Most of the books that I own, I've gotten around Christmas time. Any other books that I normally get, I get for my birthday. So don't judge me too much. I think there's about 50 books here. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started because if I don't, it's gonna take forever. So the first book I have here is actually a book that a friend of mine raves about all the time. She raves about this series, and I wanted to pick up the first one because it's not in a genre that I normally read. It would be Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I have heard so many good things about this. It is a space opera. It is obviously a sci-fi book, and I'm really excited to read this because one of my New Year's resolutions is kind of to get into genres that I'm not really a huge fan of, and sci-fi would be one of them. Just so you guys know, we're gonna go kind of quick on this as well because we're gonna be here for forever. The next book I have here, I actually just saw the cover of. I know nothing about it. I don't want to know anything about it because the cover is so beautiful. I believe it is a contemporary. That's pretty much all that I know, but it's All the Wind in the World by Samantha Mabry. I'm really excited to read this though because it's so pretty, and I think it might be like a contemporary sort of love story. And once again, that is a genre that I'm trying to get more into, but I have noticed with contemporaries and with like love interest contemporaries, it's better for me to not know much about it going into it. So I did kind of see that that was sort of what it was about, but we'll see. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. If you've read this, let me know kind of what genre it falls into, but I think it's beautiful and I can't wait to read it. The next book I got here is actually a book that I've been wanting for a very, very long time. It is a YA book, but it is set in World War II. It is The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe, I think is how you pronounce it. I don't know. It's translated by Lilith Thwaites, so it is like originally not in English, but I did buy obviously the English copy. This book sounds so cool to me because I love World War II. World War II is my #1 like obsession. I love learning about it. I love history, and I think it'd be really cool to read a contemporary book from like that perspective. And the next book I got, I won't go too far in depth because you guys have seen it before on my channel and everybody else's channel because quite frankly, it is probably one of the best books that I read this year. It was in my top favorites for 2017, and that would be The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I did actually rent this from the library, but I did pick up a physical copy of it because I did want to own it. I did want to have the ability to lend it to friends if they wanted to read it, which I don't often do, but I think this is a very important book, so I did want to have that option in owning this to be able to give it to a friend if they would also like to read it. I can't speak enough good things about this book. I think it was absolutely wonderful, although very hard to read. I'm gonna butcher this author's name, but I did also get Witchwood by Tahara Mafi. I think that's how you say her name. This book is beautiful. It's about a girl who, she's younger, but she wants to be like a mortician, and I think that that is really cool. That's at least what I got from the book, kind of like synopsises on Twitter and things like that before the book came out. It is a stunning book. I think this might be the most beautiful book I have ever purchased. I am obsessed with this cover. I love the white and the red. I'm very excited to read this. I'm actually probably gonna try to read this for January, but it'll be my first Tahara Mafi book that I've ever read, so I'm really excited to start this one. Now, if you guys know me at all, you will know that I kind of have a hit or miss relationship with this author because her writing kind of drags for me a little bit, but I did want to pick this up. I am actually going to be buddy reading this with my friend Jess this month. It'll be All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. I kind of like her writing. I think that she has very descriptive writing, but she also kind of info dumps, and at the same time, it sort of drags on. I know nothing about this book. This is another book that I kind of wanted to go into blind. I'm sure my friend that I'm reading with knows what it's about more than I do. I did also pick up a copy for her so we could buddy read it, but I'm really excited to read it either way because I think the further along I get into her writing, the more I kind of learn her writing style. I am enjoying it, so I'm really excited to read this as well. Now the next books here, I'm just going to do them as a set. One of these was actually sent to me as a gift, and that would be The Dream Thieves. G from Bookerist actually sent this to me for Christmas. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you did see me unbox this. I'm really excited to read this because I'm really loving the story. The first book drug on for me, but I'm still really excited to read it. And then I did also order the rest of the series. So we have Blue Lily Lily Blue and The Raven King, and I think these covers are so gorgeous. Like I can't speak enough good things about them. I think that they are absolutely stunning, and I'm really excited to finish the series. It's actually one of my goals this year is to actually read the entire series, so I'll probably get started on that. And the next book I have here is actually a part of a series. I do own the first two. You guys have heard me speak about them before on my channel, but I did want to pick up the third one because I do want to finish this series in 2017, and that would be The King's Men by Nora Sakovic. This is obviously part of the series that I've spoken about before. I am just so excited to read this. If you guys are not familiar, this is about a boy named Neil who kind of goes on the run undercover from his dad, and he's trying to keep his anonymity, and it kind of, you know, it follows like him on a sports team in college. It's just so cool. It's so much more, it has so much more information and so much more depth than I'm giving here, but it's not what you think it is. It's just very, very beautiful. There is a lot of like, you know, like character development and a bunch of different people in it. It's just such a wonderful series. If you haven't read it, I would read it. This is a book series, however, that you can only buy on Amazon, so if you're looking anywhere else, you won't be able to find it, but I think it's worth perusing Amazon to see if you can find it, because I think it is such a wonderful series. Now, the next book I have here is actually the first in the series. You guys have heard me speak about the second one before on my channel, but I actually realized I had bought the second one and not the first. So I did buy Starflight by Melissa Landers. I'm really excited to read this because I've been wanting to read the other one for forever, and you can't read it if it's the second book. I'm so glad I didn't make that mistake, but I'm really excited to read this. This is like a sci-fi novel. I don't know, like, other than that what it falls into. I believe it's YA, but other than that, I don't have any idea. But I bought the second one when I was trying to get into sci-fi, so now that I finally have this, I can use it to kind of complete my goal of reading more sci-fi for 2018. And the next book I have here, I've actually been seeing a lot at my local bookstore, and I did want to pick it up because I actually really like this author's writing. It is Marissa Meyer, and that would be Renegades. I have heard really great things about this, other than, you know, just that it's a good book. I know nothing about this book. You will see that that is a running trend for the books that I am going to be reading this year. I'm really looking forward to just kind of going into all of them a little bit blind, but I'm still really excited to read this because it seems, I don't know, to me it seems kind of like, I don't want to say sci-fi because it couldn't be sci-fi, but it seems a little more futuristic, and I'm really into that. So I love shows, movies, things that are like that. So I'm really excited to read this one as well. Also, it's really beautiful. And the next book we have here is to finish off my Marissa Meyer collection, because I think now I own all of them. It'd be Wires and Nerve, the Lunar Chronicles series. This is a graphic novel based on the lunar cycle, if you guys are at all familiar with that. I love this series so much, so I did want to pick this up just to have it in my collection to go back and read it to kind of get a little bit more into the book. And I love when books do this, when they have the cover on the actual like hardcover of it. I'm really excited to read this. I'm probably going to read it after I finish the rest of the series, however, because I don't want to spoil anything for myself if this does have any kind of spoilers in it. And the next one we have here is actually a gift from my friend Destiny. It would be Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. This I know nothing about other than it is sort of like a mental health contemporary. I believe the woman in this has high anxiety. I believe, I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. This cover is stunning. I'm so thankful that she sent it to me because one of my goals for 2018 is to also read more mental health books, which I started at the end of 2017, and I would like to continue on into 2018, so I'm very excited to have this as well, and I think I'm going to probably read this early on in the year. And the next book I have here is also a gift. It would be Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter. I am so excited to read this. I have heard Jade rant about how wonderful this book is. The 7 days of top 7 that we had, she ranted about this a bunch of times in multiple videos, so I'm really excited to read it. I don't know much about it other than it's kind of whimsical, which I am hoping I can find a whimsical book that I actually enjoy. So I'm really excited to read this, and I think it's so beautiful. Now the next book we have here is actually a book that I bought myself. It is by Lisa Ludecki, I think. It's called A Shiver of Snow and Sky. Once again, this is a book that Jade was talking about. I don't believe that she's read it, but she did haul it, and I was like, that is very beautiful, because she said it was very beautiful. And of course, we all know that's kind of what gets us, is if a cover is beautiful, sometimes that's motivation enough to buy it. So I did want to pick this up. I actually had the intention of reading this in December, but I wasn't able to because my reading month in December was a little off, which is why you guys did not see a wrap up for December. I read a whole lot of manga, but that was it, and I never got around to reading this, so I'm hoping I can read it probably sometime in February in the colder months. Now, G will be very, very happy to know that I finally own this book, and bless whoever sent this to me. I'm sorry, I cannot remember who some of these gifts are from, but it is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I have seen the second one and I believe the third one in stores, so I'm hoping I really like this so that I can pick up the other ones. I am so excited. Like, I'm not even joking how long I've been wanting to read this and how long G has been basically begging me to read it. So I'm hoping to get onto this in hopefully January or February, early this year. Now the next 2 books I have here are actually part of a series. Now I did actually read the first one of this, I believe late December, maybe late November, early December, but it would be Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, and then obviously I also have God's Grave here with me. I do really love these covers, although I will say I think the UK editions are so much prettier. But I can't wait to get to the second one because I loved Nevernight so much. I thought it was a beautiful book. I loved Mia as a main character, which if you guys follow me at all, you'll know that I do have trouble sometimes with female leads, but I'm really excited to finish the second one. I think I'm gonna probably make that my next read because I just need to know what happens. I was so gutted with the ending of the last one, and I need to get back to the world and, you know, kind of see how it ends. Now the next book I have here is Altered Carbon by Richard Morgan. They're actually making this into a show, and I don't know if you guys explore outside of BookTube on YouTube, but there is a channel called The Know, which is more of a gaming channel. They don't play games, but they do a lot of reviews on games, some news stuff, things like that. And they actually spoke about this and about how it was going to become a show. And I wanted to pick it up because one of the women on there who I absolutely adore, and we have very similar tastes in books, because she does talk about books as well as, you know, video games and stuff. She was talking about how much she loved this book and how excited she was for the show. So I did want to pick it up so that I am prepared when the show comes out, so I can just binge watch all of it. And I don't normally like to do that, but I'm really excited. It has won a ton of awards as well, although I have never heard of it before. So hopefully I'm going to get around to this before the show comes out. And the next book I have here is actually a book that I read a very long time ago, and you guys have seen me rave about it on my channel, but I did not have the hardcover edition, so my friend Sid actually sent it to me. It would be Illuminated by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I'm not going to go too in-depth in this. You guys know I've spoken about it before. A ton of people have done reviews on it, but I'm glad to finally own the hardcover version because they are absolutely stunning. They are so much better than the paperbacks. Now the next book I have here is actually a book that I was sent for review. It would be The Last Girl by Nadia Murad. I'm really excited to read this. This is about a girl who was captive in the Islamic State and her journey, her story about, you know, freeing herself from that. I don't know a whole lot about it because I tend to go into books that I'm reviewing with more of an open mind in the sense of not wanting to know a whole lot about it. I do know the general, you know, genre that it's in, obviously the author, more information, but other than that, I try to go in completely blind. I am really excited just from what I can read on, you know, like the blurb and, you know, the cover of the book. It seems so hard to read. It's another one of those very difficult books to read, but I'm still very excited to read this, and I'm hoping to read it in January because I need to get around to actually doing the review for the book. So the next couple of books that I have here, the next 5 books that I have here are actually all Star Wars, because I went a little Star Wars crazy this month because I don't know, I just really enjoyed them. This was actually kickstarted by my friend Ashley. She is getting surgery and she has like a medically necessary surgery that she needs to do, and she was selling off some of the old books that she had that, you know, she's either read, wasn't going to reread, and so on, and I did pick up a couple of them. The first one I got was Smuggler's Run by Greg Rucka. This is obviously about Han and Chewie, and I'm very excited to read it because Han, as you guys know, is my favorite person on the planet. And the next book we have here actually follows Rey, Poe, and Finn from the new Star Wars, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm still really excited to read this anyway. This is a precursor to the movie, and it would be called Before the Awakening. Obviously, this is before The Force Awakens, and I love these covers, and I love that they match. The next 2 that I have also match this, and I'm really excited because I do really love Finn. I think that he's probably my favorite out of the entire new franchise, and I can't wait to read a little bit more about like him before the Awakening. And the next one I have is about my queen. It is called Moving Target. It is a Princess Leia adventure, and I'm really excited to read this as well. Obviously, I'm really excited to read probably all of these, but I love Leia. I think that she's like my first big inspiration as a woman. You know, I was obviously younger when the movies became like a really big thing in my household. I think I was like 3 or 4, but I've watched these so many times throughout my entire life. As you guys know, I love the Star Wars franchise, and I can't wait to read this because I just need more Leia in my life. I'm very sad at her passing, so it'll be nice to read and, you know, kind of picture Carrie Fisher as her in this book. And then keeping on the Leia train here, I have Princess of Alderaan by Claudia Gray. It is more, I guess this is like to The Last Jedi. This is kind of like a book that moves into that a little bit. I'm still really excited to read it. As you guys know, like I just said, I love Leia, and I can't wait to read this. And I've seen a lot of people that have read this that absolutely loved it, so I'm really excited. The next one I have is actually a Luke Skywalker adventure, and it is called The Weapon of a Jedi, and there it is. It's so beautiful. I love the artwork for these. I think that they are stunning, and you probably can't tell. Oh, this one's different. Okay, so these are the covers for them. They're so cool. I can't wait to photograph these. If you guys know, I do Instagram. That's always linked in my bio. I'm so excited to photograph all these books. I think it's going to be perfect for like January photography. And the last book I actually got the Barnes & Noble like special edition, hardcover edition of the Han Solo Trilogy. Can we take a moment to marvel at how beautiful this book it is? It has like the silver decked edges. I love it so much. I think that these are so beautiful, and I want to get the other ones. They had like C-3PO and R2-D2 and just like a plain Star Wars one, and I need to get them. And I did actually become a member of Barnes & Noble recently, so hopefully I can pick these up at like not a huge bargain, because you don't get like that much off, but it's still nice to have. It's already paid for itself, my membership to Barnes & Noble. So I'm really excited to pick up the other ones and I can't wait. This book is so beautiful. I'm hoping to read like one story a month, but we'll see. All right, we're getting down to the last stack. I had 3 stacks here. We're finally at the last of it. The next one I got is actually a signed edition of Our Dark Duet. Kelsia, who was my Secret Santa this year on Bookstagram, actually sent this to me. And if you guys watched that unboxing, you will know I could not keep my shit together at all. I completely lost it. I'm still reading this Savage Song. Yes, you guys are still doing Hypernaut for that. December got away with us, so we're actually going to be moving it into making it January's book to give people a little bit more time, which seemed to be the general consensus because obviously December is a little bit busier. We actually considered skipping December, but I'm glad some people were able to finish it and are still looking forward to January. So if you're still following that, the link is in the bio, but I'm really excited to read this and I'm so glad. I think every single V.E. Schwab book I own may be signed at this point. Now this next book is a book that I picked up that I know absolutely nothing about. It is Forsaken Skies by D. Nolan Clark. All I know is that it is a sci-fi book. Like I said, I've been trying to read more sci-fi, so I did pick up a few. This is an adult book, if I am not mistaken. It was in like the adult section of a bookstore near my house that I absolutely love, and I'm really excited to read it. It is huge. Like, it's like a big floppy paperback, which you guys know is my favorite, but I'm really excited to read it because it has more political in it as well, and I do enjoy political books. Now the next book I have here is actually a book that inspired a movie, and you guys may be familiar with the movie. I really loved it, mostly because I'm obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it would be The Revenant by Michael Punk? P-U-N-K-E, I'm assuming it might be Punk, but I'm really excited to read this because I loved that movie so much. I think a lot of people really loved that movie. And I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more information because obviously cinematically you get a lot of information from a movie, but I've always been one of those people that I always get more information from the book itself. So I'm really excited to read this. And the man who wrote this, you guys should Google him. He has a serious background. He's got a really crazy background. And the next 2 sets that I'm going to be showing you were actually a gift from my mother-in-law and my father-in-law for Christmas. I have the entire All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness. My best friend Rosie was actually reading A Discovery of Witches a really long time ago when we went to New York last year for BookCon, and I'm really excited to read these because I've heard such wonderful things about them. Also, they're freaking stunning. They are such a beautiful book, and I'm so glad that my mother got me the like set like this because it was so much cheaper than buying all of them singularly, and I'm glad she didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on them because it was so incredibly sweet of them to get me like an entire like series. It's like an entire trilogy. It was just too much. Like, I almost started crying, but I'm really excited to read these, and I'm hoping this year to actually get to all of my unread books, so we'll see. And these next 2 books, I don't know a whole lot about them except for there's a friend of mine, her name is Kristen. Obviously I follow her on Instagram. She's dog-eared pages. If you can find her in my Instagram friends, you should follow her because she's amazing. She's also incredibly sweet. But she actually talked about this series and how she felt it was more underrated, and I believe it is sci-fi, we'll see. But it is No Ordinary Star by MC Frank, and then also No Plain Rebel. This is obviously part 1 and 2. I don't know if there's a 3rd one. I only believe that there's 2. There may be a 3rd one, who knows? But I'm really excited to read these as well. They seem like they may be like Amazon published books only. But so far, Amazon published books haven't disappointed me at all. As you guys know, the Nora Sakovic series I really loved, so I'm really excited to read these. And I think they're cute. Like, they're like, you know, kind of small and like thin, and I think they'll be an easy read for later on in the year if I'm like trying to hit my Goodreads goal. Now, I did finally pick this book up, although I am a little bit upset because it has the sticker, the major motion picture sticker on it, but I've heard everybody rave about this book, and I'm so glad that I finally got it. But it is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I'm really excited to read this. I know not a whole lot about it except for that there is an LGBTQ main character, but obviously for me that follows more along the mental health representation kind of vein that I want to go in 2018. So I did pick this up and I'm really excited to read it, and I don't know if I'm super excited about the movie. I've heard mixed feelings on whether or not it's going to be as great as everyone thinks it is, but we'll see. But I can't wait to read this. I have not heard one bad review about this book. And the next 2 books that I have here are actually by the same author, so I'm going to do them together just to save us a little bit of time. I'm sorry that this video is so long. But the first one that I have here is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I'm actually really upset because Amazon ruined my book when they delivered it, but what are you gonna do? I'm really excited about this because if I remember right, it is about a normal boy in a world with people who generally have superhero powers, or maybe it might be the other way around. But I'm really excited to read it because it just sounds like such a lighthearted read the way that it's been described to me. And I have read one other thing by Patrick Ness. I did read A Monster Calls the ending of December, and it was kind of like miss for me, but I did like his writing, but I don't think the story was as great as everyone says it is. But I'm still really excited to read this because like I said, I do really love his writing. Now this is another book by Patrick Ness that I've been wanting for forever. I saw somebody unhaul it, and the way that they were describing it, I was like, okay, that actually sounds like something that I would want to read, which is why I enjoy unhauls as much as I enjoy hauls, because it tends to be with me, things that people may not like about books are actually things that I would really enjoy about them. So I'm very thankful for unhauls. If you're watching this and you are a booktuber, please do more unhauls. I really like them. But it would be More Than This by Patrick Ness. I have the paperback edition because, like I said, one of my goals for 2018 is to actually purchase more paperbacks. Obviously, I will purchase hardcovers when they first come out to support authors with like new releases and things like that, but I am going to be trying to stick to paperbacks for older books. But I'm really excited to read this. I've heard such great things about it. Once again, I know not a whole lot about this except that the main character drowns like at the very beginning of the book, and that's pretty much all we know. I don't know if he like relives the same day or if he just drowns and then comes back to life. I'm not sure, but it sounds really cool from what I've heard and from all the rave reviews I've seen of it as well. All right, we are on the second to last book that I have here. And if you guys know, I'm gonna geek out so hard because she knows that I want to read more Joe Hill. She sent me NOS 482. I don't know if like you pronounce that Nosferatu, I'm assuming, but I'm really excited to read this. This is once again another book that I'm trying to go completely blind like into. I have not read any book by Joe Hill. Which makes my Stephen King loving heart a little sad because if you guys don't know, Stephen King's son, him and Owen King have also done books recently as well. But I'm really excited to read this because if he's half as good an author as his father, I'm gonna absolutely love this. I did enjoy Horns the movie, which I just actually watched because Daniel Radcliffe was in it. So I don't know, but I'm really excited to read this as well, and I'm so thankful that Sid sent it to me because I really honestly need to read more Joe Hill. So the very last book that I got this month is actually the book that physically made me cry. And if you guys know me at all, you will know my deep love for Stephen King. However, recently with my OCD being as bad as it is and the form of OCD that I have, I've been having a lot of trouble reading horror books. And Stephen King is obviously a horror author, not exclusively. He does also do like a little bit of thriller and like mind work as well, but predominantly it is horror, and the books that I love from him are horror themed. But my friend actually sent this to me, and I'm still going to try to read it because first off, it's beautiful, but the reason why I haven't owned it up until this point, because I do tend to purchase books as they come out, is because obviously my OCD, but I'm very glad that somebody thought of me and knew that I love him even though I'm struggling, that I am going to want this book later. And my OCD is getting a little bit better recently, so hopefully I'm able to try to read it this month, but it would be Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King. Like I mentioned earlier, Stephen King has been doing kind of collaborations with his sons recently, and this is the most recent one that he did. I am so excited. This actually is a hefty book. It is huge, which most Stephen King books tend to be. Give me 1 second, I'll tell you how many pages are in it. There are 700 pages in here, 701 if you want to include the author notes, and I just love long Stephen King books. I honestly do. I love carrying them around with me. I love having them on my shelves. As you guys know, I have all my Stephen King books behind me. I'm really excited to read this. I'm really excited to see what him and Owen were able to create together, and it's just, I don't know. I'm just really excited, and I'm forever thankful that Joe sent this to me and thought of me in that way and knew my love for Stephen King. Alright guys, so that is it for today's video. That is finally the conclusion of my ridiculous December haul. Like I said, please try not to judge me. I am forever thankful for these books. Like I said, December is the time of the year when I stock up on all the books. I will periodically buy books throughout the year, but like my big hauls happen around this time. So I know this video is probably going to be about like 20 minutes long. I'm super sorry. I hope you guys brought a snack or something with you, but I hope you guys are doing well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like my channel or you like me, please think about subscribing. I am so thankful for you guys. I can't believe I'm at almost 1,500 subscribers. I like woke up one day and it was there, and it still blows my mind even though it's been about a month since I hit that number, but I am really thankful for you guys, and I want to try to be more positive and engaging in 2018, so I hope you guys liked this video, but I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!